Sponsored by GlassesUSA.com.
I mean, how can you not love Thunder Force?
Yeah! You think I sprained my groin? Do chicks have groins?
Yes. Tay in the wind. Tay in the wind. Tay in the wind.
Powder, Mommy.
I'm gonna throw you in that hot tub and have myself a low country boil.
Are we doing this? Are we really doing this? I have avoided talking about this woman for so long. Do I have to break my habit now? Oh, hey, look. You can't really see it very well, but I finally got that pro gamer lighting set up. You want to know how I was able to afford it? The secret ingredient is Dogecoin. You know what I'd rather talk about than talk about this movie? Glasses. No, seriously. All this time spent shoving cinematic garbage in my eyes has caused my vision to rot away faster than that guy in Indiana Jones. Hence why I need to supplement my optics with these bad boys. When it comes to getting new glasses though, I don't like leaving the house. Because people... Ew. But GlassesUSA.com solves that problem through the power of the internet. They offer over 4,000 styles of eyeglasses and sunglasses, including those from designer brands that you can order from the comfort of your own home. And by cutting out the middleman, they were able to save you up to 70% off the retail price of prescription pairs. With a complete pair of frames and lenses starting at only $30, and free basic prescription lenses are included with every frame. These lenses are of the same high quality that you'd get in stores, you can add any type of prescription to almost any pair of frames, and they offer personalised lenses based on your needs. To help you make your selection, they even have a virtual mirror you can try with any pair of frames by uploading a photo or using a webcam. Pretty neat, huh? To make things even simpler, they have a free and easy to use prescription scanner app that can figure out your prescription for you just by scanning your glasses. They also have a collection of non-prescription frames with Blue-Ease lenses that block up to 95% of harmful blue light, helping to protect your eyes and reduce eye strain and headaches while using screens. So, naturally, these have become a bit of a staple of mine. Ugh. They also have contact lenses, sports eyewear, low bridge fit glasses, and even virtual gift cards. As well as an eco-friendly collection of 100% sustainable glasses called Sea Clean, made entirely from recycled plastic bottles. And they donate $5 to the Ocean Cleanup Foundation for every pair sold. And you have nothing to risk by taking the plunge, as they offer a 100% money-back guarantee, 365-day warranty, and free shipping and returns. So click the link in the description to get a special offer from GlassesUSA.com today, and you'll be helping to support the channel. Once again, that's GlassesUSA.com, link in the description. Yeah, I know, I'm just delaying the inevitable. Alright, that's enough procrastinating. Besides, Netflix was so obnoxious about slinging this movie in our faces that I'll be damned if I let them get away with this visual atrocity. Grab your bath bags and your gum shields, because things are about to get cringe. If it's one hill I'll gladly die on, it's that the worst genre of film is the failed comedy. A failure in any other category of movie can redeem itself by being unintentionally hilarious. The Predator, The Kissing Booth, and The Room are just a few examples that come to mind. But a failed comedy has nothing to offer and is awkward at best and nauseating at worst. Take Holmes and Watson for instance. An atrocious pile of dreck that not only fails to successfully parody its subject matter, but all of its jokes fall so consistently flat that only the most smooth-brained moron would find them amusing. The result was an experience so aggravating that I've not covered anything similar since. Until... this. Thunder Force is a superhero comedy starring... This was all I needed to know. Thunder Force reopened that old wound and brought out some of the darkest aspects of my personality. In fairness, it doesn't quite approach Holmes and Watson in terms of skin-crawling cringe, but it gets pretty close. It's in a similar league to Ghostbusters 2016, although at least it doesn't shit on an existing franchise. Let's start with Thunder Force's biggest failure. The only thing it had to get right, and the one thing it fucked up the most. It's comedy.
This car makes me ovulate. I want to have shiny purple Lamborghini babies. I knew I didn't want to hear it.
At least I don't have diarrhea.
Severe diarrhea is a given. That one right there is 100% a certainty.
What are you doing?
I'm just buttering your knuckle.
It is painfully unfunny, and this makes its relatively short runtime seem longer than a marathon of the Lord of the Rings extended editions. Its jokes are either straight up not funny, entirely predictable, make no sense, suffer from bad delivery or improper setup, or rely on obnoxious gross out humour that only appeals to the aforementioned smooth brains. And jokes are repeated far too often, because if it wasn't funny the first time, it will definitely be funny the third time, right? Like, there's a recurring joke that McCarthy's character can only eat raw chicken, and they force us to endure that several times.
It's so good. It's so good.
Is this what comedy is? Is this all it takes to get a Netflix deal now? Fuck it, I can do that too! No. Some things are just not worth the meme. McCarthy is a terrible choice for a comedic lead. I've pulled things out of my belly button that have more charisma than her, and she manages to ruin every joke she tells. Much of the humour revolves around McCarthy humiliating herself and making her look like an idiot, which is every role she plays. But there's only a certain extent to which you can do that before it becomes desperate and pathetic. And I get that this character is meant to be an idiot, but we're supposed to care about her, and we're given every reason not to.
Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that?
Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. The only time I laughed was when they made a joke about her character getting accidentally tased, and that's because I wanted that to happen for real. Actually, no, there was another time. Jason! Bateman plays a crab man, and he scuttles away a couple of times, and it was so absurd and well delivered that I just had to laugh. But that's because he's a fucking legend who can make anything funny. His delivery is always great, and his performance is the clear highlight of this dumpster fire. Dude, I love you, but you've got to stop soiling your reputation like this. Just scuttle away from the whole movie next time. Oh, and in case you're wondering, they make plenty more bad jokes about him being a crab.
What's his power? Like, tasting delicious with melted butter?
The only time the movie surprised me was by not making a joke about her getting crabs. I would say I admire their restraint, but then they put in a sexual scene that made me want to gouge my eyes out with a rusty hammer, so... no. She also dragged Octavia Spencer into this. She's a great actress, and she deserves so much better than this. And 90% of the time, it was painfully obvious that she was phoning it in. They've been friends for decades in real life, which explains her involvement, but good friends don't do their mates dirty like this, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, back to the unfunny. In place of actual comedy, the film uses plenty of pop culture references to both nostalgia bait the older audience and appeal to the fellow kids. McCarthy's character is obsessed with old rock bands, which is meant to make her seem fun and immature, but also strikes me as an attempt to make her seem cool by association. Like, there's a scene where she points out her limited edition Slayer t-shirt, and it was really hard not to punch the screen at that point. And it reminded me of the completely unnecessary scene in Cool Cat Saves the Kids that only existed so that Daddy Derek could show off his signed Van Halen guitar. Oh, but you've seen nothing yet. You want some real cringe? She plays Fortnite. Well, she doesn't actually play it, it's a shitty green screen. Oh, and she flosses. Twice. Are you laughing yet? I'm not going to break down every single joke and tell you why they each made me want to kiss the pavement after a 40-story fall. Just take what I've shown you so far, and then imagine that for an hour and 40 minutes. I've experienced ingrowing toenails that were less irritating than this movie. Hell, I've seen Nostalgia Critic skits that were funnier than this. Actually, no, I take that back. Alright, if there's no funny, then what about the story? Well, the most you can say about it is that it's a truckload of meh. Again, I'm not going to go through every detail of the plot because I've got better things to do with my life. But it's completely predictable, does nothing interesting, and fails to convey its intended emotional stakes and payoffs. The premise of the movie is that cosmic rays cause certain people who are predisposed to be sociopaths to become supervillains called miscreants, which is a shit name. Octavia Spencer's character Emily has been working on a serum that will create superheroes. Her former friend and all-around dumbass, Lydia, accidentally receives the first dose of the serum, so they team up to fight back against the miscreants as Thunder Force, which is also an awful name. And I can't imagine anything more intimidating than two overweight middle-aged women. Well, having said that, I did spend a few years working in restaurants, so... Look, I don't care that they're overweight. My first wet dream was of Miss Piggy, alright? But you're asking me to accept that after going through months of rigorous training and restricted diet, she hasn't lost any weight? Yeah, whatever, movie. And the setup for her getting the serum is so contrived and nonsensical. It stretches credulity to the point where I just couldn't buy any of it. And this happens throughout the whole movie. The action is poorly choreographed, just like you'd expect. And at the end of their first mission, they just let the bad guys walk out of the store for absolutely no reason? They also make no attempts to hide their true identities, which is unbelievably stupid, and leads the super obvious main antagonist to find them very quickly. Good job, guys. Oh, and they force in a romance between Lydia and Jason Bateman's Crabman, of course. They have a date that goes on for like 5 minutes. This miscreant with crab arms, which look awful by the way, and this well-known superhero are just sitting in this restaurant and no one seems to give a shit. The bad guy is just another moronic cartoon villain, and his plan is to blow up the building containing his AOC knockoff opponent and her supporters, because no one would ever be able to connect him to this very obvious crime. When they confront him, Emily's daughter suddenly has superpowers despite absolutely no setup for it, because they wanted it to happen and fuck consistency. They find the bomb, which looks like a pro gamer PC, and Lydia insists that she has to jump out of the window with the bomb in order to absorb its impact. But she could have just thrown it into the river and it would have been fine? Surely? Kinda makes this sacrifice a bit pointless. She's fine, of course, which again makes that emotional scene completely hollow. BOC congratulates them, they become official heroes, there's more flossing and crab stuff, the end. Oh, and the miscreant played by Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy gets away. Don't tell me they're teasing a sequel! Don't you fucking dare! Throw in some shitty CGI and rotoscoping, and that's all that's worth talking about. If you want a superhero comedy, check out Mystery Men, it is leagues better than this. Thunder Force commits the worst of all sins. It's boring. It isn't just a failure, it's a dump truck load of meth that no one will remember in a month except for the ones who are emotionally scarred by it. The only redeeming value I found in the movie was in watching my girlfriend's disgusted reactions to it and thereby getting an erection. Thunder Force isn't worth your time. Stay away from it unless you're being forced to watch it at gunpoint. And even then, you should hesitate. But you guys already knew this. You're smart. You didn't watch this movie because you knew it was going to be a pile of steaming ox turds. For one simple reason. Melissa McCarthy. To me, McCarthy is kind of like James Corden. If they're involved, it's a massive red flag that the project is destined for insufferable mediocrity.
And that's why I think people will enjoy watching it, because...
Or more accurately, she's like Adam Sandler. Every 10 years or so, they might make a great movie, but they're content to fill the rest of the decade with lazy cash grabs. She was decent in Bridesmaids, and I've been told that she was good in Can You Ever Forgive Me? She was nominated for Oscars for both, for what that's worth. But if a band released one good album and 10 bad ones, you wouldn't call them a good band. And McCarthy's record as a comedian isn't much better than Amy Schumer's. It's not the case that women can't be funny, because that's objectively wrong. Nor that McCarthy can't be funny, because she occasionally is. But far too infrequently to warrant the amount of attention that she receives. The real issue, though, is that she continues to force herself on us, and is being enabled by her husband, Ben Falcone, who actually had a role in this movie as a guy who gets thrown through a roof, tased, and killed. Since he wrote and directed it, part of me wishes he was method acting. Together, they founded On the Day Productions, and through this company, they've produced a score of movies. In most cases, they've co-written the movie, Falcone directed, and McCarthy starred in the lead role. This kind of self-indulgent nepotism is utterly poisonous when it comes to quality, and it's absolutely insulting to all those struggling writers, actors and directors who can't get their projects off the ground. If a couple makes a movie with the sole purpose of putting themselves in it, then it's going to be shit. Now, there's nothing wrong with starring in your own movie as long as you have the talent to pull it off, but these people don't. And these films range from mediocre to excruciatingly awful. I could have made a video like this on any one of them, but I have at least some sense left, goddammit. How do they even make their money back? Because I refuse to believe that McCarthy is a big box office draw. My guess is on some very creative Hollywood accounting. Because despite these movies being considered meh at best and absolute trash at worst, they keep making them! And there's more to come! How depressing is that? Just take a second, McCarthy, and think about what you're doing. Is this really what you want to be known for? Pumping out forgettable, bland, unfunny garbage for a quick buck? Is your ego so big that you can't see the quality of what you're producing? Or do you just not care as long as your name is above the title? You're asking for our money? And our time? And we deserve better than this, quite frankly. So McCarthy, please, just fucking stop.
At least I have chicken.
Thanks for watching, folks, and to glassesusa.com for sponsoring the video. Check them out to support the channel, link in the description. You can also pick up some merch on Bonfire, become a YouTube channel member, or pledge your support on Patreon. Patrons and channel members get early access to uncensored versions of videos without ads or sponsorships, as well as a mention here in the credits. I stream over on Twitch with a regular stream every Sunday, and right now a playthrough of Bloodborne as and when. So follow me at twitch.tv/cynicalreviewsofficial if you're interested. Join my public Discord server and follow me over on Twitter to stay up to date, and I'll see you in the next one.